Hi, altruistic well-wishers and constructive critics. I take it for granted that you and your beloved one are in fine fettle. It is activist come preacher Professor Suresh back with the sheer ecstasy for my 76 video on the anvil of publication on YouTube today, 7th of September 2020. Topic for discussion today is naturopathy. Naturopathy or naturopathic medicine is a form of alternative medicine that employs an array of pseudo-scientific practices branded as natural, non-invasive, or promoting self-healing. The ideology and methods of naturopathy are based on vitalism and folk medicine rather than evidence-based medicine. Naturopathic practitioners generally recommend against following modern medical practices, including but not limited to medical testing, drugs, vaccination and surgery. Instead, naturopathic practice relies on unscientific notions, often leading naturopaths to diagnosis and treatments that have no factual merit. Naturopathy is considered by the medical profession to be ineffective and harmful, raising ethical issues about its practice. In addition to condemnations and criticism from the medical community, such as the American Cancer Society, naturopaths have repeatedly been denounced as and accused of being charlatans and practicing quackery. Naturopaths are known for the frequent campaigning for legal recognition in USA. The term naturopathy originates from natura, Latin root for birth, and pathos, the Greek root for suffering. To suggest natural healing, naturopaths claim the ancient Greek father of medicine, Hippocrates, as the first advocate of naturopathic medicine before the term existed. Naturopathy as its roots in 19th century natural cure movement of Europe. In Scotland, Thomas Allison started advocating his hygienic medicine in the 1880s, promoting a natural diet and exercise with avoidance of tobacco and alcohol. The term naturopathy was coined in 1895 by John Shield and purchased by Benedict Lust, whom naturopaths consider to be the father of US naturopathy. Lust had been schooled in hydrotherapy and other natural health practices in Germany by Father Sebastian Nape. Nape sent Lust to the United States to spread his drugless methods. Lust defined naturopathy as a broad discipline rather than a particular method, and included such techniques as hydropathy, herbal medicine, and homeopathy, as well as eliminating overeating, tea, coffee, and alcohol. He described the body in spiritual and vitalistic forms with absolute reliance upon the cosmic forces of man's nature. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the first known use of naturopathy in print from 1901. From 1901, Lust founded the American School of Naturopathy in New York. In 1902, the original North American Native Service Societies were discontinued and renamed Naturopathic Societies. In September 1919, the Naturopathic Society of America was dissolved, and Benedict Lust founded the American Naturopathic Association to supplant it. Naturopaths became licensed under naturopathic or drugless practitioner laws in 25 states in the first 3 decades of the 20th century. Naturopathy was adopted by many chiropractors, and several schools offered both Doctor of Naturopathy (ND) and Doctor of Chiropractic (DC) degrees. Estimates of the number of naturopathic schools active in the US during this period vary from about 1 to 2 dozen. After a period of rapid growth, naturopathy went into a decline for several decades after the 1930s. In 1910, the Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching published the Flexner Report, which criticized many aspects of medical education, especially quality and lack of scientific rigor. The advent of penicillin and other miracle drugs and the consequent popularity of modern medicine also contributed to naturopathy's decline. In the 1940s and 50s, a broadening in scope of practice laws led many chiropractic schools to drop the ND degree, though many chiropractors continued to practice naturopathy. From 1940 to 1963, the American Medical Association campaigned against heterodox medical systems. By 1958, practice of naturopathy was licensed in only 5 states. In 1968, the U.S. Department of Health, Education and Welfare issued a report on naturopathy, concluding that naturopathy was not grounded in medical science and that naturopathic education was inadequate to prepare graduates to make appropriate diagnosis and provide treatment. The report recommends against expanding Medicare coverage to include naturopathic treatments. In 1977, an Australian Committee of Inquiry reached similar conclusions. It did not recommend licensure for naturopaths. Beginning in the 1970s, there was a revival of interest in the USA and Canada in conjunction with the holistic health movement. As of 2009, 15 US states, Puerto Rico and US Virgin Islands, and the District of Columbia licensed naturopathic doctors, and the state of Washington requires insurance companies to offer reimbursement for services provided by naturopathic physicians. On the other hand, some states, such as South Carolina and Tennessee, prohibit the practice of naturopathy. In 2015, a former naturopathic doctor, Britt Mary Helms, began writing critically about her experience being trained in practicing naturopathic medicine. The US Indian Health Service began accepting naturopathic doctors in their clinics and practice in 2013, also making loan payment available to NDs. The practice of naturopathy is based on a belief in the body's ability to heal itself through a special vital energy or force guiding bodily processes internally. Diagnosis and treatment concern primarily alternative therapies and natural methods of naturopaths claim promote the body's natural ability to heal. Naturopaths focus on holistic approach completely avoiding the use of surgery and conventional medicines. Naturopaths aim to prevent illness through stress reduction and changes to diet and lifestyle, often rejecting the methods of evidence-based medicine. A consultation typically begins with a lengthy patient interview focusing on lifestyle, medical history, emotional tone, and physical features as well as physical examination. Many naturopaths present themselves as primary care providers, and some naturopathic physicians may prescribe drugs, perform minor surgery, and integrate other conventional medical approaches such as diet and lifestyle counseling with their naturopathic practice. Traditional naturopaths deal exclusively with lifestyle changes, not diagnosing or treating disease. Naturopaths do not generally recommend vaccines and antibiotics based in part on the early views that shape the profession, and they may provide alternative remedies even in cases where evidence-based medicine has been shown effective. Naturopaths are often opposed to mainstream medicine and take an anti-vacationist stance. The particular modalities used by a naturopath vary with training and scope of practice. These may include herbalism, homeopathy, acupuncture, and natural cures, physical medicine, allied kinesiology, colonic enemas, chelation therapy, color therapy, cranial osteopathy, hair analysis, iridology, live blood analysis, ozone therapy, psychotherapy, public health measures and hygiene, reflexology, role-playing, massage therapy, and traditional Chinese medicine. Nature cures include a range of therapies based on exposure to natural elements such as sunshine, fresh air, or heat or cold, as well as nutrition advice such as following a vegetarian and whole food diet, fasting, or abstention from alcohol and sugar. Physical medicine includes naturopathy, osseous or soft tissue manipulative therapy, sports medicine, exercise, and hydrotherapy. Psychological counseling includes meditation, relaxation, and other methods of stress management. A 2004 survey determined the most commonly prescribed naturopathic therapeutics in Washington State and Connecticut were botanical medicines, vitamins, minerals, homeotherapy, and allied treatments. An examination published in 2011 of naturopathic clinic websites in Alberta and British Columbia found that the most commonly advertised therapies are homeotherapy, botanical medicine, nutrition, acupuncture, lifestyle counseling, and detoxification. Naturopathy lacks an adequate scientific basis and it is rejected by the medical community. Some methods rely on immaterial, vital energy fields, the existence of which has not been proven, and there is concern that naturopathy as a field tends towards isolation from natural general scientific disorders. Naturopathy is criticized for its reliance on and its association with unproven, disproven, and other controversial alternate medical therapies, treatments, and for its vitalistic underpinnings. Natural substances known as Neutraceuticals show little promise in treating disease, especially cancer, as laboratory experiments have shown limited therapeutic effect on biochemical pathways, while clinical trials demonstrate poor bioavailability. According to American Cancer Society, scientific evidence does not support claims that naturopathic medicine can cure cancer or any other disease. According to Britt Helms, naturopath student programs are problematic because as a naturopath, you are making justifications to make the rules and to fudge the standards of how to interpret research all along the way. Because if you don't, you are not left with anything basically. In 2015, the Australian government's Department of Health published the results of a review of alternate therapies that sought to determine if any were suitable for being covered by health insurance. Naturopathy was one of the 17 therapies evaluated for which no clear evidence of effectiveness was found. Naturopathic physicians now claim to be the primary care physicians proficient in the practice of both conventional and natural medicine. How many of you have heard about using magnets for certain cures? That the training, however, amongst a small fraction of medical doctors who practice primary care. An examination of the literature, however, reveals that it is replete with the pseudo-scientific, ineffective, unethical, and potentially dangerous practices. Naturopaths often recommend exposure to naturally occurring substances such as sunshine, herbs, and certain foods, as well as activities that describe as natural, such as exercise, meditation, and relaxation. Even for COVID-19, some politicians suggested that as a remedy and all that. Naturopaths, mud baths. Naturopaths claim that these natural treatments help restore the body's innate ability to heal itself without the adverse effects of conventional medicine. However, natural methods and chemicals are not necessarily safer or more effective than artificial or synthetic ones. Chemical compounds used in allopathy are very bad, really. And treatment capable of eliciting an effect may also have deleterious side effects. Certain naturopathic treatments offered by naturopaths such as homeopathy, rolfing, and radiology are widely considered pseudoscience or quackery. Stephen Barrett of Quack Watch and the National Council Against Health Fraud has stated that naturopathy is simplistic and its practice are riddled with quackery. Non-scientific healthcare practitioners, including naturopaths, use scientific methods and deception on a public who, lacking in depth healthcare knowledge, must rely upon the assurance of providers. Quackery not only harms people, it undermines the ability to conduct scientific research and should be opposed by scientists, says William Jarvis. The 2018 Australian case against Marilyn Bodner, who advised a mother to treat her infant son's eczema with a raw food diet, which nearly led to the child's starvation death. Judge Peter Berman said, well-intentioned but seriously misguided advice is, as for the facts of this case demonstrate, capable of causing great harm and even death to vulnerable children. Furthermore, Britt Holmes criticizes the pervasive culture of patient blaming among naturopathic practitioners, where when something does not work for the patient is not experiencing all of the positive effects and zero side effects that are promised with the therapy. It's never because the therapy does not work, it's because the patient did not do something right. Naturopathy practitioners voice their opposition to vaccination. The reasons for this opposition are based in part on the early views that shaped the foundation of this profession. A naturopathy textbook co-authored by Joseph Pisorno recalls anti-vaccine beliefs associated with the founding of naturopathy in the US. The return to nature in regulating the diet, breathing, exercising, by bathing, and the employment of various forces in lieu of the smallpox vaccine. In general, evidence about associations between naturopathy and pediatric vaccination is sparse, but published reports suggest that only a minority of naturopathic physicians actively support full vaccination. Have you heard of a place, Kottakkal, in Kerala in India? It's very popular for the homeopathy treatment and all that. In Washington state from 2000 to 2003, children were significantly less likely to receive immunizations if they had seen a naturopath. A survey of naturopathic students published in 2004 found that students at the Canadian College of Naturopathic Medicine became less likely to recommend vaccinations to the patients and became more distrustful of public health and conventional medicine as they advanced in the program. The British Columbia Naturopathic Association lists several major concerns regarding the pediatric vaccination schedule and vaccines in general, and the group's policy is not to advocate for or against vaccines. The Oregon Association of Naturopathic Physicians reports that many naturopaths customize the pediatric vaccination schedule. As of 2016, the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians, which is the largest professional organization for licensed naturopaths in the US, is still discussing its stance on vaccinations. Naturopath practitioners can generally be categorized into three groups: those with a government license, those that practice outside of an official status, traditional naturopaths, those who are primarily another kind of health professional who also practice naturopathy. In Switzerland, these divisions fall between those with a federal diploma, those recognized by health insurances, and those with neither federal diploma nor recognition by health insurances. Naturopaths with federal diploma can be divided into 4 categories: European traditional medicine, Chinese traditional medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and homeopathy. The number of listed naturopaths, even yoga is good for the body. It has become so popular all over the world now. That is also a good treatment for so many of the sicknesses, body pains, and other. Okay, the number of listed naturopaths in Switzerland rose from 223 in 1970 to 1835 in 2000. Licensed naturopaths may be referred as naturopathic doctors or naturopathic physicians in 17 US states and 5 Canadian provinces. Licensed naturopaths present themselves as primary care providers. Licensed naturopaths do not receive comparable training to medical doctors in terms of the quality of education or quantity of hours. In British Columbia, permits licensed naturopaths to use the title Doctor or Physician. However, Section 102 of the bylaw of the College of Naturopathic Physicians of British Columbia, the terms naturopathic and naturopathic medicine must be included anytime the doctor or physician is used by a member of CNPBC. Licensed naturopaths must pass the naturopathic physician's licensing examination administered by North American Board of Naturopathic Examiners after graduating from a program accredited by Council of Naturopathic Medical Education. Training in CNME accredited programs include basic medical diagnostics and procedures such as rudimentary physical examinations and common blood tests. In addition to pseudo-scientific modalities such as homeopathic acupuncture, it's very popular in China. That's a good treatment for so many of our ailments. And energy modalities, these accredited programs are being criticized for misrepresenting the medical rigor and teaching subjects that are antithetical to the best understanding of science and medicine. The CNME as an accrediting authority has been characterized as unreliable and suffering from conflicts of interest. The naturopathic licensing exam has been called a mystery by those outside the naturopathic profession and criticized for testing on homeopathic remedies, including for the use to treat pediatric emergencies. Naturopathic doctors are not eligible for medical residencies, which are available exclusively for medical doctors and doctors of osteopathic medicine. There are limited postgraduate residency positions available to naturopathic doctors offered through naturopathic schools and naturopathic clinics offered by the CNME. Most naturopathic doctors do not complete such a residency, and naturopathic doctors are not mandated to complete one for licensure except in the states of Utah and Connecticut. Continuing education in naturopathic modalities for healthcare professionals varies greatly. Traditional naturopaths are represented in the US by the American Naturopathic Association, representing about 1,800 practitioners, and the American Naturopathic Medical Association. The level of naturopathic training varies among traditional naturopaths in USA. Traditional naturopaths may complete non-degree certificate programs or undergraduate degree programs and generally refer to themselves as naturopathic consultants. These programs offer online unaccredited programs but do not offer comprehensive biomedical education or clinical training. Traditional naturopathic practitioners surveyed in Australia perceive evidence-based medicine to be an ideological assault on the beliefs in vitalistic and holistic principles. They advocate nowadays the term holistic is used 360 degree. Overall, they advocate the integrity of natural medicine practice. Naturopaths graduating from accredited programs argued in 2002 that the training used evidence-based scientific principles unlike traditional naturopathic programs, but this claim remains inaccurate. In India, naturopathy is overseen by the Department of Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy, called Ayush, AYUSH. There is a 5.5 year degree in Bachelor of Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences BNYS degree that was offered by 12 colleges in India as of August 2010. The National Institute of Naturopathy in Pune that operates under Ayush, which was established on December 22, 1986 and encourages facilities for standardization and propagation of the existing knowledge and its application through research in naturopathy throughout India. M.K. Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi had a passion to tend to the sick and serve the poor. He valued his life close to nature for its simplicity and evolved and practiced simple rules of health. He had almost a religious faith in vegetarianism, which led him to carry out dietetic reform based on pragmatic results obtained from personal experiments. He was tremendously influenced by the writings of Dr. Kune on nature cure. He believed that human body, mind and spirit could be maintained in a state of perfect health by observance of simple rules. He attempted to discover causes of ordinary ill health and improvise simple remedies of natural cure. He established a natural cure center at Uruli in pursuance of his belief that the poor could not afford costly medicines and remedies, and that he owed it to them to let them have the benefit of his lifelong experiments in health and hygiene. The human body is a wonderful and perfect machine. If it gets out of order, it can set itself right without medicine, provided it is given a chance to adjust itself. If we are not abstemious in our habits of food, etc., or if our mind is agitated by passion, emotion, or anxiety, the body cannot eliminate all the refuse, and the part which remains uneliminated turns into toxins whose presence gives rise to symptoms which we call disease. Yeah, as a matter of fact, even medical doctors, allopathic doctors say there are a lot of toxins in our body. This builds up gradually. We have to get these toxins out of our body somehow. Detoxification is necessary. And whether it's a human or animal, we have the natural resistance called immunity. Nowadays we are forced to wash our hands so frequently with soap or alcohol based sanitizers. It's a very unhealthy practice. Even medical doctors are admitting if we keep on doing it, we lose our natural immunity. And also, sanitizers contains alcohol. It's basically mostly ethyl alcohol, ethanol, and balance is isopropyl alcohol, and they add some other fragrance, color and all that. Alcohol is very highly volatile. It will absorb all the moisture. So if we keep on using it, our hands will become very rough. It will become very dry also, because it absorbs all the moisture, everything. It's very bad actually, using these kind of things regularly. If the body is helped in the process of elimination by fasting, cleansing of the bowels by any baths or massages, the body could be restored to its normal. I don't know how many of you watch the dogs, even street dogs, they fast. Even if we provide the things that it likes that day, don't eat. It will eat only some grass. It does it naturally. This is in brief what Gandhi meant by nature cure. Lemongrass, okay. Gandhi was convinced that for good health, all that was necessary was to live according to the laws of nature in regard to diet, fresh air, exercise, clean surroundings, and a pure heart. Nowadays we don't get these things. Who has pure heart? Are we able to breathe fresh air? Are we able to eat good food, organic food? Everything is artificial now. Even the water that we drink is not clean. We are forced to pay through our nose for even edible quality water. Man was tempted by modern technical knowledge to indulge himself to his heart's content, break any law of health and morality, and then seek a cure through commercialized drugs. In revolt from this, Mahatma Gandhi sought to discover for himself the same way of overcoming disease without the use of medicines. Besides, medicine tends to treat disease as merely a matter concerning the body, but Mahatma Gandhi, viewing man as a whole, finds that disease of the body is chiefly due to mental or spiritual causes and can be permanently cured only when the man's entire attitude of life is changed. The cure of bodily disease must therefore, according to him, be sought primarily in the realm of the spirit, in self-discipline and self-mastery through brahmacharya, in a thoughtful observance of the laws of nature in regard. This is from Gandhi's book, okay. Laws of nature in regard to health, and in bringing about a physical and social environment conducive to the development of a sound body and a sound mind. Gandhi's perception of natural cure is therefore much wider than what is generally understood by the term. It is not merely a cure of disease or after it has occurred, but an attempt to prevent disease altogether by living according to the laws of nature, which prevention is better than cure. Laws of nature, which according to him are the same as the laws of God, what we call blasphemies. Accordingly, it involves not only the use of earth, water, air, sunlight, fast, and such like to cure disease, but even more, a transformation of one's entire life. Yeah, there are 5 energy sources. In Chinese they call it as qis. We have to use them to the best of our abilities. Nowadays, even people rearrange the layout of the house to use these qis, energy sources, properly. In India, we call it as vastu. Okay. physical, mental, moral and social through Ramanama or faith in God, alias Islam. Ramanama is not therefore for a mere magic which when uttered through the lips will work wonders of itself. It signifies, as already said, a complete change in the heart and mode of life of the individual, whereby the individual comes to be in tune with the infinite and so obtains never failing disease, conquering life and strength from the source of all life. The meaning of life is what humans expect of it. The quality of life is explained by the social concepts. Life has to do with maintaining the functions of biological systems. Organisms must be healthy to maintain their life. Health is a perfect working condition of the body. Disease is a divergence from normal physiological conditions of the organism in question. The cause of most diseases can be traced through physiology and its effect on humans. Obesity is one of the contemporary diseases that are psychologically tied. For these reasons, some clinical applications have been used, including exercise, diet, and some surgical methods. However, alternate remedies are being applied, and they include herbal therapy, hunger, aromatherapy, musical color and magnet therapies. That's what I mentioned. Yoga and acupuncture, amongst others, for one to stay healthy. The above examples are referred as naturopathy. Hunger is a psychological stimulus and not a pathological condition. When the glycogen level in the liver or glucose in the blood falls below a ratio, this is usually followed by a desire to eat. The often unpleasant feeling originates in the hypothalamus in the brain. Hunger is seen in different religions of the world as a rule. Hunger as a cure for remedy to diseases has been used at different times because of its numerous advantages. In some cases, hunger makes one to be contented and patient with life. It also brings about good health. Staying hungry can help one to fight against obesity. Using hunger as a form of treatment to stay healthy should not be considered at any time as torture. Each disease has a cause. Physiologically, if you know the cause of the disease, then you can have a cure. And knowledge of the disease is essential for its prevention and treatment. Being healthy does not only mean not being infected with the disease, but it also has to do with the physical and mental aspects of the individual being in good shape. Being healthy has to do with the total well-being of a person, including his appearance, proper functioning of the body, and continuous maintenance of these good health conditions. The WHO, World Health Organization, in 2000 defined being healthy as the individual's own physical and mental aspect in good situation. Diseases do not have physical defects, but is also more adverse when maintained as a lifestyle. Disease status has to do with abnormal physiological conditions. This occurs when the body's defense power is weak and damaged. Immunity, resulting in illness or disorder. You know about acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS. That is basically the immunity is lost. Nowadays, most of the people do not have the immunity. Diseases can result in changes in physiological conditions of the body, and this can cause a very thin line between the body and physiopathology sometimes. In fact, the life of organisms passes through a long process of biological evolutionary life fighting. That's why our body is a wonderful machine. History and in the fight, some species are either too weak or not able to maintain a strong defense against diseases, depending on the history, on the generational and immune features they inherited. Therefore, if the immune system and the resistance collapse, the body would have to protect itself with full force. In the world, parts of the problems facing large number of people are related to health and disease. All health problems and diseases are not similar. Some people may have simple health problems, while some others may have serious illnesses which must be treated. Therefore, specialization in different areas of disease was developed and is still till date. Exercise is an activity that enhances or maintains physical fitness and health of individuals and population. The exercise is performed daily for some different aims to prevent the cardiovascular system diseases and to lose body weight, body weight or maintenance. It is also important for mental health and it fights against depression. An activity that requires a certain extent of power and skill causes a person to gain health as well as self-confidence. Nevertheless, either the exercises or any sports realized for a purpose must be under supervision of an expert medical doctor and trainer in order to practice correctly and healthily. If these activities are exercised without having any consciousness and unscientifically, you may have harm rather than having benefit. The exercises that increase more oxygen consumption are advised. Particularly heavy exercise may also cause unanticipated deaths if done without supervision by experts. Therefore, exercises must be tolerable and done at intervals throughout the day. Nevertheless, high cholesterol level may be decreased by diet and sports. Intensity of exercises should be increased gradually. Medication treatment has two purposes. One of them is reduction in absorption, and second one is reduction in pressure of appetite. In the first, orlistat is used to prevent the effect of secreted pancreatic lipids. Thus, a part of the fats taken as nutrition would have been discarded without intimidation. However, the medication may cause diarrhea. For the second, the applications of leptin have positive results. Leptin does prevent the development of adipose tissues. Clinical practice is not sufficient alone. Surgical treatment is also applied in the stomach. The stomach is made smaller. Bariatric surgery as gastric reduction or textural fat withdrawal, liposuction is done. However, these are not natural treatments and have side effects and are inconveniencing. Natural treatments have three basic principles. One, there are two: environmental, medium, and external environment which influences the living organism, and an internal environment which includes organs. The body's internal nature actually improves and makes treatment itself, and the goal of the treatment is not to worsen the state of the patient. Life may have different methods of treatment and maintaining its health. However, conscious nutrition, clean air, clean clothing, proper life, sexual and social activity in the return to nature can be considered to be natural treatment. Yeah, everything should be natural, but nowadays everything is artificial. Hippocrates said, let food be a medicine. He also emphasized food can also be poison also. Okay. He also emphasized that correct feeding starts the natural treatment. Important vital elements take place in our body. Nutriments are functional according to their efficiency as energy providers and regulators, constructive and restorer. In the absence of some ions, sodium, potassium, calcium, chlorine, however, the body is transformed into flesh mass. Ratios of these elements should be found in the body in certain ratios. These features to ensure that nutritional needs should be very versatile. Natural treatment can be regarded as a proof of uniformity of the laws of biology and exactness. Treatment occurs to determine the cause of disease, prevent the emergence of the individual's own life and future editing phase. Consists of natural treatment that forms the living power of air, water, food, light, environment, opinion, purpose, life, and beliefs of humans. Applied in India, Ayurveda, Homeopathy, Siddha and Allopathy, Unani, and herbal treatment, herbalism, acupuncture and yoga are methods of naturopathy. In addition to the many natural treatment methods applied, there are others. These are hunger, cold, body temperatures with exercise, music, natural source of water, massage, and magnetic treatment applications. Also, the feature due to the natural treatment is done in some cases. Natural health at the same time is a method that is applied optionally. Application of hunger, weight loss, or natural treatment for maintaining health may be right because during major health problem it enables the body to acquire good precaution against metabolic disease. So unnecessary in this area is the use of drugs to get rid of the diseases. With hunger, the body cells can be renewed and vigorous growth will be provided. Also, body's energy metabolism is renewed and high metabolism rate is reached. The resistances of the body against various diseases have been increasing. It has been reported that hunger treatment protects healthy cells against chemical treatment which has harmful effects on the body. Hunger, individuals desire the will and awareness, consciousness develops strength and endurance, patience of the individual. Therefore, when diseases occur, natural treatment methods should be applied. Especially the ones linked to fat and heart disease. I want to tell you something. My mother was good in natural treatment, especially for the infants, newborn babies and all that. All the ladies who had infants used to bring their kids to my mother first for the natural remedies. She used to cure the babies with herbs and spices that used to work wonders. Okay. On the other hand, the world and our country prefer the classical medical treatment and natural treatment method. Hunger is what every individual can apply directly to himself. However, individual differences regarding health should be taken into consideration. In India, every year 90,000 patients diagnosed of heart diseases lose their lives. The following are the ways of overcoming this problem: a balanced, scientific, and healthy nutrition as daily habits, making a regular and continuous physical exercise corresponding to age, sex, and altitude, free yourself from daily tension, stress, select other positive application methods as preference to stress in order to feel happiness, take daily enough, at least 2 liters water, tea with the fluid depletion as required. The person should maintain body weight after completing the development, consume enough vegetables and fruits, especially high fiber, use white flour, sugar, salt, and avoidance of animal fat. Refined flour is very bad. Anything refined is bad, even oil. Avoid as possible, especially high levels of alcohol containing beverages, tobacco, and some of alkali derivatives. Even nowadays, people are using the conventional type of oils that we get out of checks, mills. Okay. At regular intervals, use equipment in hospitals to make health checks in terms of body fluid balance. Eat dry food, and applications should be controlled and hunger on a regular basis, provided there is weight loss and purifying of the body, ultimately with the application of cold press oil. Okay, with the application of hunger should not be seen as a problem. Such hunger that is applied as treatment should not be considered no time as a torture. Yoga and naturopathy are very old sciences based on well-founded philosophy. In India especially, yoga and naturopathy, China also. Yoga and naturopathy are the twin systems of healthcare. These are called as science of healthy living. Both are drugless systems of healing based on well-founded philosophy. Yoga and naturopathy have their own concepts of health and disease and also principles of treatment. These systems lay more importance on the preventive aspect of healthcare rather than curative one. This is one of the reasons that yoga and naturopathy systems are gaining popularity day by day. Naturopathy is a system of man building in harmony with the constructive principle of nature, of physical, mental, moral, and spiritual planes of living. It has great promotive, diseases preventive, and curative as well as restorative potential. Naturopathy is also defined as a system of medicine for the cure of diseases by encouraging natural curative reactions inherent in every disease cell through methods and treatments based upon the 5 fundamental laws which govern health. The difference between naturopathy and other systems of medicine is that in naturopathy the methods and treatments used to encourage the inherent curative reaction within each cell are based upon the 5 fundamental laws which govern health. The cure is obtained not by reactions to the medicines introduced, but because the very vitality and the health disease cells improve with the help of the methods and treatments used. Overall, allopathic treatments should be avoided as much as possible. All allopathic medicines are chemical compounds and so have so many undesirable adverse effects. Surgical treatment should be the last option, but so many allopathic doctors recommend surgery as if it is a one and only option. Good ethical doctors with conscience will suggest multiple treatment options and let the patient and his or her family decide the best option based on analysis of the pros and cons of the alternates. Medical testing should be curtailed, especially X-rays, scans, radiation therapy, etc. So many allopathic doctors and hospitals are so greedy to make as much money as possible as long as the sun shines. This follows. First of all, so many of these so-called health professionals do not have basic humanitarian tendencies. The person going to the hospital is already depressed. These people shout at them. That leads to more depression, whatever. Natural childbirth deliveries are very rare nowadays. Proliferation of infertility clinics, torturing the cancer patients who offer chemotherapy, prescribing antibiotics for viral infections which results in superbugs, hefty charges for treatment in hospitals, charging under different heads, exploiting the general public even for COVID-19 treatment, exclusions in medical insurance, detaining the patient in the hospital till the bill is settled in full, even though they are fit enough to be discharged. Experimentation with healthy individuals in the name of trials in order to get approval for medicines, vaccines, confusing the people by using medical jargons and making even simple issues complex, heavy consultation charges, especially by so-called specialists with advanced degrees. Naturopathy, Homeopathy, Siddha, Ayurveda and Unani treatments will not have any adverse effects. Recovery will be gradual but permanent without any undesirable side effects. My sincere recommendation is to try out Nutraceutical and other natural remedies first, and may resort to Allopathy as the last option. You can save your hard-earned money too. Medical and teaching were noble professions once upon a time, but these professionals had such a high reputation those days and were considered like demigods. This is no longer true in 21st century, especially because of commercialization of these fields. Full credit to materialistic society. Whether it is naturopath or allopath, consult only licensed professionals, since there are so many quacks. Debates, discussion on topics like this can go on forever. However, let me call it a day. We'll meet again real soon. Some of the statements used expressed are solely mine, based on limited knowledge gained over 6 decades. Always watch these videos with a closed caption for absolute 100% comprehension, as per my sincere recommendation zillion times so far. I know I rushed through to complete the presentation within 20 minutes max, a norm that I had set myself, but nowadays I am not able to do that because I make honest attempts to cover the selected topic more elaborately, including so many intricate fine details referring a wide variety of sources, in particular Wikipedia quite extensively, besides articles and books published recently. Of course, I add my own salt and pepper and masala based on my personal experiences so far in my life and also intuition. Stay at home as much as possible to maintain social distancing attributed to pandemic novel COVID-19 and prolong your lifespan. Lead a healthy life. God alone can put a stop to natural and unnatural events, maybe bio war and cyber war events like pandemics, which may lead to apocalypse and extinction of all sentient species on earth for no fault of others. Thus, one request: everybody in the medical field should be very courteous to the patients and their families. Don't ever shout at them, which will result in more stress, more depression. Okay, consider this as advice for your own good. Even I used to go to a doctor, medical doctor, allopath. That fellow used to discourage me all the time. After 2 consultations, I stopped seeing him. Okay, so everybody will do that. Rest in peace and harmony. Take care.